Every year, up to 40% of homegrown produce never makes it to the table. That's nearly half of the fruits and vegetables you've worked so hard to grow, lost before you ever get to enjoy them. It's a staggering number, especially when you consider the time, effort, and care that goes into nurturing a garden from seed to harvest. We often blame pests, unpredictable weather, or just plain bad luck for these losses. But the truth is, most of the time, it's simple, avoidable mistakes that cost us the most. Things like rough handling, harvesting at the wrong time of day, or storing produce in less than ideal conditions. These small missteps can add up quickly, turning a bumper crop into a missed opportunity. For example, a single bruise on a tomato can set off a chain reaction of spoilage, and leaving carrots exposed to the hot sun for just a few hours can sap their freshness and flavor. Sometimes, rot begins before you even realize anything's wrong, quietly spreading through your harvest. Harvesting isn't the end of your gardening journey. It's actually the beginning of the preservation process. The way you handle your crops in these first moments after picking can make all the difference in how long they last. Think of it as guiding your crops into a restful dormancy, rather than just picking them and hoping for the best. Gentle cleaning, careful sorting, and proper wrapping can extend the life of your harvest dramatically. Commercial growers have learned to minimize losses by treating their produce with care and controlling temperature from the moment it's picked. They use specialized equipment, but the core principles, gentle handling, quick cooling, and organized storage, are things any gardener can adopt. By borrowing these professional habits, harvesting gently, moving produce out of the sun, and storing it in a cool, dark place, you can dramatically reduce waste and keep your harvest fresher for longer. Even if you don't have fancy equipment or a commercial setup, simple changes in your routine can make a huge difference. With a little planning, you can turn a fleeting summer abundance into months of delicious homegrown meals for your family. So let's dive in and discover how you can make every single harvest count, ensuring that your hard work truly pays off at the table. The secret to longer-lasting produce? Timing. Harvest in the cool early morning when vegetables are plump and rested, not stressed by the afternoon sun. Field heat, warmth stored in your crops, accelerates spoilage. Pick early and immediately keep your harvest shaded and cool. For leafy greens and beans, a quick dip in cool water, hydrocooling, locks in freshness. Never leave your basket in the sun. Every minute counts. This simple shift slows metabolism, reduces water loss, and keeps rot at bay. Professional growers harvest at night for a reason. So should you. Early harvest and fast cooling are your best tools to stop waste. Start your day with a harvest, and your food will last far longer. Root crops like potatoes, carrots, and beets are staples in many home gardens, but to enjoy them through the winter, they need a special process called curing. Unlike leafy greens or tender vegetables, root crops are designed to last, but only if you prepare them properly right after harvest. When you dig up your root vegetables, resist the urge to wash them. Instead, gently brush off any loose soil with your hands or a soft brush. Washing can damage their protective skins and introduce moisture that encourages rot, so it's best to keep them dry at this stage. Next, arrange your potatoes, carrots, and beets in a single layer, making sure they don't touch each other. Place them in a warm, well-ventilated, and shaded area, like a shed or covered porch. Good airflow is crucial, as it helps excess moisture evaporate and prevents mold from forming. The curing process allows minor cuts and scrapes to heal naturally. Over several days, the skins toughen up, forming a protective barrier that keeps out bacteria and fungi. This step is essential for long-term storage, as it greatly reduces the risk of spoilage. Potatoes need about 1 to 2 weeks to cure fully, while carrots and beets only require a few days. Be patient. Rushing this step can mean the difference between a successful harvest and a disappointing one. Right after harvesting, trim off the leafy tops from your carrots and beets. Leaving the greens attached draws moisture from the roots, causing them to become limp and less flavorful. Removing the tops helps the roots stay crisp and fresh. Once your root crops are cured, transfer them to a cool, dark, and humid place, like a cellar, basement, or dark pantry. Avoid storing them near fruits like apples, which release ethylene gas and can cause sprouting or spoilage. With proper curing and storage, your root vegetables will remain firm, flavorful, and ready to eat for months on end, providing nutritious meals all winter long. Always handle your cured crops gently to avoid bruising, and check them occasionally for any signs of spoilage. A little patience and care now means a well-stocked pantry later. Remember, proper curing is the key to turning your harvest into hearty winter feasts instead of a wasted crop. Take the time to do it right, and you'll enjoy the rewards for months to come. Braiding onions and garlic looks charming, but it traps moisture and causes rot. Instead, cure bulbs in a single layer on racks with plenty of airflow. Choose a warm, dry, well-ventilated spot, like an open greenhouse or porch. Let the necks and skins dry completely. This can take 2 to 3 weeks. Only store when the necks are papery and dry to the touch. Trim roots and stems, then store in mesh bags or open crates for maximum airflow. Skip the bunching. Airflow is key to long storage. Hang in a cool, dry, dark place. With proper curing, your onions and garlic will last all winter. A little patience now means flavorful bulbs for months. There's a common myth among gardeners and tomato lovers that tomatoes must ripen fully on the vine to achieve their best flavor. Many people imagine that leaving tomatoes on the plant until they're deep red and soft is the only way to get that sun-kissed taste. But is this really true, or just a tradition passed down through generations? The truth is, once a tomato shows its first blush of color, what's called the breaker stage, it's actually ready to be picked. At this point, the fruit has received all the nutrients it needs from the plant, and the ripening process will continue off the vine just as effectively. Ripening tomatoes indoors protects them from pests, birds, and unpredictable weather that can cause splitting or blemishes. You'll notice that tomatoes left too long on the vine often develop cracks or get nibbled by insects, reducing both their shelf life and quality. By harvesting at the breaker stage, you not only safeguard your crop from damage, but you also encourage the plant to set more fruit, extending your harvest season and increasing your overall yield. To finish ripening, simply place your tomatoes in a single layer indoors, away from direct sunlight. This gentle environment allows them to develop full flavor and color without the risks they'd face outdoors. Tomatoes naturally produce ethylene gas, which triggers ripening. If you want to speed up the process, add a ripe banana to the tray. The extra ethylene will help your tomatoes turn red and juicy even faster. This method gives you more control over the ripening process, reducing losses from spoilage and ensuring that each tomato reaches its peak condition before you eat it. Instead of a sudden glut of overripe fruit followed by waste, you'll enjoy a steady supply of perfect tomatoes, ready to eat when you are. Research shows that tomatoes ripened indoors after the breaker stage are just as flavorful as those left on the vine and often last longer. Science, not just tradition, points the way to better flavor and bigger harvests. So pick your tomatoes early, let them ripen inside, and savor every bite, enjoying the best taste and the longest-lasting harvest your garden can offer. When your harvest overwhelms, processing is your best friend. Freezing is simple. Blanch vegetables briefly, cool, dry, and freeze in portions. This preserves color, texture, and nutrients for months. Fermentation is another easy, nutritious option. Think sauerkraut or pickles. Just salt, water, and thyme transform fresh veggies into probiotic-rich foods. Tomatoes? Cook them into sauce or passata and freeze for winter meals. Set aside time each week to process your surplus. These habits turn excess into a pantry full of homegrown food. Don't let abundance become waste. Preserve it for the off-season. Processing is the final step to a zero-waste harvest. Tradition is valuable, but science saves your harvest. Old habits, like braiding onions or waiting for vine-red tomatoes, often cause more waste. Modern methods are simple. Harvest early, cool quickly, cure properly, and process efficiently. Observe what works in your garden, and don't be afraid to change. Keep notes, experiment, and build your own best practices. The goal, get more of your hard-earned food onto your plate. Small changes, timing, handling, storage, make a huge difference. Slash that 40% loss and enjoy your harvest year-round. Honor tradition, but let science guide your hands. That's the real secret to a successful, sustainable garden.